or outer darkness. Very few people will go there. People who have had the truth. Maybe I would go there in their theology now because. No, seriously, because I have been in a position to see the whole picture, and according to Mormon theology, I would be in a position where I would deny everything that I've learned. So having had the light and then denying it, I would be probably a prime candidate for outer darkness. And you know what? I'm willing to die today. I'm that certain that this is a bunch of bunk. So, yes.
Thank you, Richard. I'm still not quite clear on something. The Mormon religion believes in Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Right? But do they believe that he actually was God in the incarnate?
No.
Okay, so
God the Father and Jesus Christ are separate.
They're absolutely separate.
Absolutely separate.
So the fact that they say, "Oh yeah, we believe in Jesus," that's really doesn't mean a thing, does it?
Oh, it's totally different than what most religions.
All right, thank you.
And then the question was asked, I think, of Hinckley, that we believe in a different Jesus than the rest of Christianity, and so yeah, that's probably the case. Yes. Okay, question over here, and we got questions there.
Please wait for the mic.
As my husband said, we lived in Salt Lake for several years. And when we moved there, we were made aware of the fact that the Mormon Church had changed their PR, their public relations, as to how they presented Mormonism. It seemed to me that Mormonism was Mormonism at one point, and now we were going to present it as Christianity. And we would present it in any way we could to deceive people. And what I found when we lived in Salt Lake, that most everything that I saw around me was built on deceit. That they lied for God because they could not tell the truth for him. Whether it was a young missionary could not come out and tell about Mormonism or what the church believed, they really had to deceive in order to bring people in. My question is, political at this point, is when I see on TV that people, in speaking of one particular candidate whom we all know, well, he's a Mormon, but, you know, they're Christians. And so, and perhaps this isn't a question, I think their PR has worked very well for them.
Oh, yeah.
They have deceived and deluded many, many people.
They're doing a much better job with PR than they did 20 years ago. They're trying to mainstream as best they possibly can. And so every time they have an opportunity to make an inroad and appear to be mainstream Christianity, that's what they're going to do. And they'll keep downplaying all the skeletons that are out in their closet. They'll ignore the elephant that's sitting in the corner and pretend to be mainstream Christianity, because they know that's where in the long view, that's where they're going to have to be if they're going to survive. And I don't know if they're going to survive. You know, from my viewpoint, I think it's the LDSS Titanic. You know, I think they hit the iceberg in 1985, with the internet, and they're just going to go down unless they make some very, very radical changes.
They still have to make a lot of converts?
Not really. In fact, there's a series of articles in the desert. The question was, are they making lots of converts? There's a series of articles in the Salt Lake Tribune documenting zero real growth in the LDS Church right now. Zero. With the births and the converts, minus the people that defect like me and people that go inactive, the retention rate of new converts is only hovers, I've heard, between 7 and 11%. People that join the church continue to come regularly after 1 year. So the numbers are very, very dismal. It concerns the people in Salt Lake. They get briefings on it every week. The staff that they have to process resignations like mine went from 2 people 10 years ago. Now they have 10 people processing resignations. It's coming apart at the seams. The ship is sinking, and they're gonna try and do whatever they can to try and redeem it and try and keep it afloat. They're the richest church in the world per capita. That's no question about it. They built a massive empire. 925,000 acres in North America. They're the largest foreign landowner in the UK. And I could go on and on about that. Most estimate the church wealth at 80 billion. And their income's about 6 billion a year. And how much percent of that goes to humanitarian aid? Almost none. Almost none. It's criminal in my view if we're trying to help people. You know, they make some high-profile contributions when to get the impression that they're being benevolent, and to pump up that PR situation. A couple more questions. Oh yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I have two questions. How are you being treated now by your family and friends? And my second one is seeing and knowing a lot of Mormons. They seem very educated, very nice people. Why do they put their head in the sand with the evidence that is out there now concerning Mormonism?
And this part of the question, the next one I'm going to look at, the membership are generally unaware that there are skeletons out there, and they are in the day-to-day meetings. They have preemptive strikes for the membership. They tell them, beware. There's anti-Mormon literature out there. Look, Lyndon Lamborn was just caught up in this anti-Mormon literature. Look what happened to him. You know, don't let that happen to you. Oh no, you know, beware of anything. So they put their blinders on, and they trust what's been told them since they were a child, and so they look away. They have a force field. You saw Star Wars where each individual soldier had his own force field that kicks on. Well, that's Mormons. They have their own force field to keep anything away that doesn't come from the party line. And do you have another question I missed?
How are you being treated?
Oh, how am I being treated? I'm being treated wonderfully. My toughest thing was a phone call from my mother. That was a tough one. I actually hung up on her once to get my point across, and I felt bad about that. But I have had nothing but love, and I appreciate the words from this brother about prayers for me. I really appreciate that. I think I felt prayers from my friends, and then some of my sister I have a couple of sisters-in-law that are a little bit slow to have the tolerance that I think they should have. I'm the first to leave in my family. You know, there's 7 of us. It was 6 boys. We all went on missions. Okay, that's my upbringing, and I'm the first one to come out and say, you know what, I'm leaving, and I think it's going to be a healthy thing for my family. So I've been treating very well. Veronica, my brothers. What about my brothers?
You had mentioned, I think in the article or something I had read, that you've been just talking with your brothers. Where are they?
We are a band of brothers. We talk to each other all the time. We get together as often as we can. We are tight. And I respect my brothers almost more than any other people on this earth and their opinions. And so we're all aware, all of us brothers to some degree are aware of the information that's out there. We've studied it all to varying degrees. We've all made different decisions on how to conduct our life. And I think maybe in the end, I'm thinking that probably in 20 years we'll all be out, but that may not be. Some of my brothers may stay in for the sake of their families and continue nodding and saying yes, it's okay, just to keep things on an even keel with the family, because it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy decision. If they decide they want to leave like I did, they may lose their marriage. I mean, it's that kind of a decision, and we have to all respect the person's decision. I would expect at least 20% of active churchgoers are closet doubters, right, to start with, and they're already thinking a lot of things I think, but they just keep their mouths zipped and just smile and sing along day to day, and just to get along, go along to get along.